Hey guys, welcome back. You may notice that my lighting and my camera setup is a little bit different than usual. I am currently in a hotel in Vegas. To be honest, I wasn't really going to film this weekend. However, I have gotten a record number of requests for this series and I am a woman of the people, so I'm definitely doing it. Kennedy, why are you in Vegas right now? Great question. If you haven't yet checked out my podcast/interview series, please definitely check that out. I have an interview out with John Wood, the current owner and coach at Syndicate MMA, and I also have an interview with Jessie Jess. You may remember her from the UFC, and she's also a current Muay Thai fighter. She has a world title right now. So I am here all week for more interviews with UFC fighters. I am super excited about it, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you are getting forced to watch the UFC this weekend, maybe your boyfriend is making you watch it with him, maybe you're going to a watch party and you're a beginner, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the upcoming card. And let me tell you, this is probably going to be the card of the year. I'm going to cover the top 3 fights on this card, but let's start with the main event, of course. This is going to be Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. All right, here's the rundown. This is a featherweight fight, which means that they weigh in at 145 pounds, which is like a medium-sized weight division. And they are fighting for the featherweight vacant title. That means that there's not currently a champion in the featherweight division. This guy over here, Ilya Topuria, was the champion of the featherweight division. However, he gave up his title because he wanted to move up in weight, which is kind of unheard of. These two are both massive fan favorites. And I would say that the general narrative of this fight is featherweight greatest of all time versus rising star / rookie of the year. To be honest, I really don't want to see either of them lose. Down here at the bottom, you can see their ages and records. Let's talk about Alexander Volkanovski, or VOLK, first. He is from Australia, and his nickname is Alexander the Great. Now, like I said before, VOLK is one of the greatest featherweights of all time, if not the greatest. He absolutely dominated the featherweight division for 4 years, and he's an incredibly well-rounded fighter. He was a rugby player before he started MMA at 23, and he actually has a cooking show. It's called Cooking with VOLK. VOLK is a really nice, chill dude. He seems like a great hang, honestly. However, he is coming back from 2 knockout losses, so he's hoping this is going to be his redemption arc. Now let's talk about Diego Lopes. He does not sing for Fall Out Boy, I did check. He is Brazilian and kind of Mexican. He's lived and trained in Mexico for a really long time, and he kind of represents Mexico. Now, Diego joined the UFC not that long ago. However, he has so much hype around him. He made his debut on only 5 days' notice against a top 10 opponent, and he did really, really well. He made his MMA debut at 17. He had no amateur fights, and he only knew BJJ at the time, so he was going into an MMA fight with only BJJ. Diego has really good vibes. People love him. He's just like a cutie pie. He is a great striker, and he always puts on really, really exciting fights. Now for our co-main event, this is going to be Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. This is a lightweight fight, which means that they weigh in at 155 pounds. They're a little bit bigger than the featherweights, and this is going to be a 5-round fight. Both of these men also have huge followings. They are also fan favorites. Both Chandler and Pimblett are kind of known for being good dudes. They also both have some hand in some kind of men's mental health advocacy. Pimblett here wants to continue his win streak, and Michael Chandler wants to prove that he is still a top contender in this division. Down at the bottom, you can see their ages and records. Now let's talk about Michael Chandler, or Iron Mike, which is kind of like an homage to Mike Tyson. Michael Chandler was a 3-time Bellator champion before he moved to the UFC, and he is known for very, very exciting fights. He wins either the fight of the night or the performance of the night bonus, most of the time. He also wins by knockout a lot. Chandler's faith is really important to him. He has this podcast called Walk on Wisdom where he gives a lot of motivational advice. Chandler has been kind of inactive the last couple years because he has been waiting and waiting to fight Conor McGregor. However, at this point, it's just not going to happen. McGregor is currently running for the president of Ireland. I doubt he has time for a UFC camp. He coached against Conor on season 31 of The Ultimate Fighter, and he actually just welcomed a new baby into his family a few days ago, I think. So congratulations to the Chandler family. Now let's talk about Chandler's opponent. This is Paddy the Baddy. Now Paddy is from Liverpool, and he is pretty much the most popular UFC fighter in the UK right now. Active UFC fighter, I'm not going to count Conor. He is a really chill dude, not a lot of ego, not a lot of machismo. He had this $1 million deal with Barstool Sports a while ago, so he is really on his media game. He started MMA at 15, had his pro debut at 17, and got really, really popular on Cage Warriors, which is a great promotion over in the UK. He's also known for these huge weight fluctuations in and out of camp. He'll get really, really, really big and really, really small. Paddy is also really involved with his community. He founded the Baddy Foundation, which is really involved in men's mental health and kids' food insecurity. Patty will also usually win performance of the night, so him and Michael Chandler together, this is going to be a banger. Okay, I know it isn't like a main or co-main event, but I cannot leave you guys without discussing this Bryce Mitchell-John Silva fight. It's just gonna be too good. So you know how I've been saying for the last couple fights, like, oh, they're really good dudes, they don't really trash talk. This fight is the one that brings the drama. We are going back to the featherweight division for this fight at 145 pounds, and let me catch you up on a little bit of the drama. Bryce Mitchell here is from Arkansas. He is a bit of a character, to say the least. He is known for posting very controversial things on social media. You either really like him or you really do not. He recently launched a podcast called Arkansanity, and during that first episode, he said something that he really should not have. Okay, I don't really know what the censoring and demonetization policies are on here, but you know in World War II, that one guy that was really, really, really bad? It's the one you're thinking of. It's the really bad guy. Bryce was saying that that man was kind of a good guy before everything happened, and maybe the type of dude that you might want to go fishing with. As you can imagine, a lot of people were really disturbed by those comments. Bryce has said a lot of controversial things in the past, but nothing compared to this. I would say that he went from an eccentric fan favorite to someone that a lot of people are excited to see lose. He also promotes a lot of conspiracy theories online, including the flat earth theory. Because of that, Silva actually brought like a globe to the press conference to kind of like antagonize Bryce. Bryce is a Christian and claims that Silva has these like demons that are interfering with his preparation for the fight. And Silva's main narrative is that he's gonna go in there and educate Bryce. Down at the bottom, you can see their ages and records. Let's talk about Bryce first. His nickname is Thug Nasty, and he got his start in the UFC on their reality TV series called The Ultimate Fighter. And he kind of became a fan favorite on there. People knew him as a country boy who is not necessarily the sharpest tool in the shed, but is super genuine. He is really into hunting. He advocated long and hard for the ability to wear camo shorts in the octagon. He actually made this like country rap mixtape at one point. It was called Pasture Fires. Bryce fights best on the ground, so winning via submission, and like I said before, he is a very, very polarizing figure. And last but not least, John Silva. His nickname is Lord. It is tattooed across his chest in case you forget. And that refers to this like alter ego that he says comes out during his fights. Silva is part of the Fighting Nerds, which is a group of 4 fighters that do a lot of content together. They're like a little club. They are fan favorites. He got his start in the UFC through Dana White's Contender Series, and he is currently undefeated in the UFC. And for good reason. Silva is really explosive, and he has really great knockout power. He wins by knockout a lot. And overall, I would say he's just like pretty unserious. You can tell he has a lot of fun in the octagon. He has a lot of fun during press conferences. Sometimes he'll like give his opponents a high five during the fight. And that is our coverage of UFC 314. I'm sorry, I'm only gonna do those fights. I only have like so much time. But honestly, this may be the card of the year. I am super excited for it. Make sure to send this to your friends who are beginners, to your girlfriend who you're making watch with you. And I really want to give a shout out to my bookie for sponsoring this series. If you're looking for a sports book, I highly recommend them. If you're thinking about putting some wagers on this card, you can use code Kennedy for a 50% bonus on a deposit up to $1,000. Using that code is also just a really great way to support me, support my work, and allow me to continue creating content for you guys. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm honestly still a small account. I'm trying to get this started. I do these for every pay-per-view card. And I also do have a podcast/interview series interviewing UFC fighters. I have some really good guests lined up. Like, you're going to want to stay tuned. I appreciate you guys. Let me know who you got for this card, by the way. I'm so torn between VOLK and Lopez. I want them both to win. And I'll see you guys on the next one.